And good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Also, share the video, but definitely make sure you hit that like button. And I just want to say, I really appreciate the new subscribers. I appreciate the old subscribers, the ones that have been rocking with me. Um, I'm blessed because I have a mature group of subscribers. So I want you all to know that I truly, truly appreciate you guys so, so much. More than anything, I do. I do. And I'm rocking with you. But this morning I wanted to talk about young Dolph. I was I didn't go to church this morning. I decided to look at um a sermon online because my mom had told me, she was like, it's coming up to the close to the end of the month, and you have to do your donations. I do believe in tithing and stuff. And I go to different churches, but my mom's church is trying to build or whatever. There it's it's a little church in the backwoods in Mississippi, but they have a new pastor. They're trying to become, he's trying to be innovative. So of course, like I said, I believe in tithing and giving back to the community, because I would love to see him do some of the things that he's wanted to do. I think that's a beautiful thing, you know um because it's a little church on the rock. My great great grandmama went to that church, so to have someone come in and try and do great things, of course I'm definitely going to be supportive, of that. And then I was just taught to tithe, and it just kind of brought me to this young Dolph situation. I started looking at some interviews of young Dolph after I got off of line, right? Looking at the pastor this morning, and he was talking about motivation, and it's something how God is, because I read one of this first video that I'm going to show. Young Dolph was talking about motivation. I said, God, ain't this something? And I started thinking about how he just wanted to motivate. That's all he ever talked about. He wanted to keep it about the money and the music. And of course, people talk shit all the time. We all talk shit. And, I hate that this happened to Dolph. But if you think about it, I think a lot of these new ignorant motherfuckers didn't understand when they got their asses into rap and their big dogs who actually put their slow asses into this shit to beef and to kill other people. They didn't tell them how rap really was originated. They was doing battles on the mic. That's what Jay-Z was doing when they wanted to sell albums. People and then they would say, no, I ain't gonna get into that beef because he's just trying to sell an album. But they battled on the mic from the 80s to the early 90s. I mean, they was hard. They was good with words. They were like wordsmiths. You know what I mean? So I just think a lot of these new people, like the FBI agent, that's my friend was saying, um, they got the game twisted. They feel like if a person say something, I'm gonna take their life. I think that's what a lot of how these new artists got it confused at, but they want the community to consistently support them. If you listen to Dolph's music, and I'm not like, I used to listen to rap back in the day. So, I'm kind of old because I used to listen to people like Salt and Pepper and MC Light and all of those type people, like Arrested Development, those type of rappers, right? And I liked a little bit of stuff like with Easy E when they started getting into this gangster rap. you know um I listened to some of that. I liked Ice Cube and all of them. But Ice Cube, if you think about it, Ice Cube was a gangster rapper, but he was smart. you know he understood, that what he rapped about, he didn't necessarily have to live, especially if he wanted to be outside. I'm talking about of that federal prison that some of these folks gone crazy, get ready to go to because of their own actions, right? He understood that, and I don't think a lot of these younger people that are getting into this rap understand that, because they're being taught by an evil force. Well, you got to live it. That's why you hear a lot of them saying it's the craziest damn thing I've ever heard. I live what I do. They feel like they supposed to, they're not going to get the street credibility if they're not out here being killers. And then they rapping about it when if some of these OGs with they no good ignorant asses would tell the damn truth, they know damn well a lot of times when they brought their old asses up, when these kids when they was rapping, they weren't necessarily living that. They was rapping that and they was making money and they was living their life, because you have to live a separate life if you want to live a long life outside of rap. Just because you rap about it don't mean you need to be living it, especially if you're talking about killing people. That's why parents have to teach their children that if they let them listen to it, I don't really even think they should be letting them listen to that drill stuff now at this point. That even you listen to it, but that's not how that's not how you gonna live your damn life in here, because that's not what we do. You're gonna be civilized. But see, a lot of these kids now, their parents and stuff are on drugs, and hell, mama 12 and grandmama 17, and that's the God's truth. But let me pull up this video of Dolph, because I'm getting into something else. Y'all know I get deep because I'm real passionate, but I'm gonna keep the main thing this morning. Okay, hold on.
With the one and only Young Dolph. What is up?
What's going on?
So did you enjoy your show?
You know, I had fun, man. We in Indiana / Chicago, so
Okay.
you know what's up.
I'll be watching you on Twitter. If I tweet
Twitter?
what? Yeah, I watch you on Twitter.
I don't just be on Twitter, though.
I know, but I love you. You don't know why? Because your personality is so teed. You're so excited. What drives that sound of yours that's just so different from everybody else?
He was so tall and handsome
And where I came from, my
and
background, my
chocolate.
past, my real life, so we just having fun with it, man. You know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate that.
We done been through all the struggles, all the sad times, and all that. We just having fun.
Okay. And what's the one thing you want people to realize from your sound? Because I understand that your sound is more of a Memphis heart type
Right.
sound. It's different. It's not from, you know,
Right.
something that we're not used to up here. So
Right.
what's like the one thing that you want the majority of your audience to understand from your music?
Well, it's that motivation flow. I think that's what I do more than anything. I just motivate everybody to have something. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It's different. You know what I mean? It's real. It's the struggle. It's just the street, period. The whole, all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? With no gloss on it, no glitter on it, or none.
Cut back.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So new music, new projects coming out. I know you just dropped something recently.
We drop Bosses and Shooters. Me, and me, Fizzle, Bino. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the mixtape going crazy. Like, it's doing numbers.
I see
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
I seen it on Twitter. It's been going crazy promotion wise and everything.
It's doing numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's my boys' time, so, you know, we just doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? Apply the pressure, heat the streets up, feed the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our number one key. You know what I mean? Feed the streets, keep them satisfied.
I love it. That's all it is. Well, that's all we have for right now. It's your girl Ashton CK for What's the Word TV.
Okay, God. I mean, y'all, you see what he was saying. And you could tell he's a Leo like me. Okay, because I'm one of those ones. It's like I'm always happier when I see other people achieve things even more so than myself, you know. And if you heard him, he said it was Fizzle and Bino. He said it's just my boy's time, you know. He wasn't even include himself in that, because you know he knew that his job was to be the motivator, because he had achieved a lot of his milestones, you know. And that's how it's supposed to be when you've achieved a lot of things, and you can reach back and start helping those people that are truly hungry, that are going to line up and be truly hungry and want it also, you know. And so that's why I think so many people are hurt, even when they start to, people who didn't know about Dolph in the beginning, and then they start to learn about him, they start to get sad, because they go, dog, you know, this is a man that was doing a lot. He was very underrated and he was independent. So, you know, with the music industry, I guess if you ain't on your knees and doing a whole lot of other stuff, because people are doing devilish things. First of all, I can't understand why these artists would allow these artists with the talent allow other people to make them do devilish things because they could take the industry over. They're the ones with the talent. These folks couldn't, in the backgrounds that we don't see, couldn't make money off of them if they all band together and decided that they were not going to sign with the record labels. Instead of trying to kill Dolph because of jealousy, they ought to have been trying to get like him and get with him, right? That's what they should have been trying to do so that they could create generational wealth for their children and make all of the money off of their art. And then, pay people that you bring in to do certain things for you. But these artists, he had the right idea. They really should be making 85% off of their stuff because they are the talent. He had it in his mind that he was not going to allow anybody to treat him like a slave. I hear Soulja Boy say all the time, and I'm so disgusted with Soulja Boy. I really don't say a whole lot about him anymore because it makes my head hurt. But he never misses an opportunity to throw out a shot saying, I'm truly independent. And if he's truly independent, that's good. But be independent and happy. God doggone it. Instead of throwing out shots at somebody and being mad at somebody else. Because if you make it 85% and you got you're giving somebody 15% for a distribution deal, he's still getting the majority of his money in a day and time when everybody else is just about in 360 deals and being slaves, right? So y'all, I was thinking about that and I was like, when I was looking at that, he was truly a motivator. You could look at Dolph's face. You could look at his spirit and tell he was different. He had a regards and a respect for life because if he didn't, he had enough money to have them Nick Rose who had a pattern of trying to take his life like a bunch of vultures and animals. He could have had them slayed out everywhere, but he didn't. That's a person that has a regards for life, know that he's got artists out there in the street, didn't want to risk retaliation on them, thinking about the bigger picture. But when you got a jealousy overrides everything and you still got Negroes out there trolling this man's name, doing evil stuff and pulling other folks in to do stuff to people or try to do things to people on YouTube. Some of these people who have these IT businesses and things of that nature, and some more of them, they have pulled themselves into something that they're not going to be able to get themselves out of because you can never beat the government. You can't. I don't care how smart you are. It's not designed. Their technology is it's just out of this world. Okay. But I think people, when God has given you a gift, regardless to what it is that you do, you should be motivated. You should be motivated to use it for your good. And that's what he was doing. I always talk about how what we do is not even about us. It's not about us. It's about God and his plan. That's why I always say whenever I'm going through something, and you could tell Dolph said he had been through everything. Whenever I'm going through something, because I get mad as hell when I feel violated. That's one of the things that makes me mad as hell. And I found myself when I was over there down at the federal building and we was seeing what these people had done. I started to get madder and madder and madder. And then on my way home, I had started praying. I had gotten some type of peace and I jumped on YouTube and then they was edited again. That was the devil because God had calmed me down. And then closer to the end of the live, I heard God again say, peace be still, because I told you I got this. And so that's what you have to do. You have to do peace be stills in the midst of storms. And remember to motivate and be great. Remember to keep the main thing, because I'm not on here for myself. I didn't come back to YouTube for myself. It wasn't even really to vlog on this Dolph case. It was because I've been doing missing persons and talking about missing Black girls that don't get the coverage. And injustices of some of these black men that I'm seeing, that have been wrongly incarcerated, and bringing awareness to those that have truly wrongly been incarcerated, not the ones that, damn it, that's been got their asses in jail for something that they did, not them. Okay. And to bring awareness to these cold cases. It just so happens that this situation happened with young Dolph, and I started vlogging about that because I started learning more about his life and how he motivated. And I think it's a sad thing when you start to learn more about why he was killed. I don't know why the motherfuckers killed him or wanted him dead. What was going on in their mind? Okay. But when people motivate like that, you look at the overall picture, you start looking at a pattern. Because I talk a lot about Rich Lord too. Rich Lord, he was a street dude, he was hardcore. Okay. But Rich Lord was smart, you know. And so I think it bothers me. And he motivated too. You look at some of his interviews, he always wanted them young dudes around him to know that they were kings. And if he had been given the opportunity to live his life, I truly believe, because he was already transitioning and making it into something positive. He was understanding and getting knowledge of self. And once you start to get knowledge of self, just like you could tell Dolph had knowledge of self, if you go within and get knowledge of yourself, you can produce anything on the outside. Instead, these MFs ain't trying to go within. They too busy got green, letting that green-eyed monster zone them in on everybody else. And that green-eyed monster is a jealous monster. And so they can't create nothing positive or nothing good because they too busy trying to destroy. Stop. I'm tired of you. They too busy trying to destroy any and everything great because they got that snake in their ear and that demon on their shoulder. Okay. And most of the demons are that crack that they own. They cracked out. And it's unfortunate because a lot of them born crack babies. Okay. All right. But that's what my dog that made me lose my train of thought. But that's what I got on here for this morning because, like I said, I was looking at, my mom's pastor. I went to church online this morning, and he was talking about motivation. And then the first, interview that I just showed, because I had never seen this one. I just happened to click on it, and I said, God is good. God wanted me to get on here and talk about motivate, no matter what. When you're in the midst of a storm, keep going. If you ain't got nobody around you to motivate you in the midst of that storm, motivate yourself. Because we already know storms don't last forever, right? I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I'm not trying to get all biblical, but my favorite book in the Bible is the book of Daniel, right? And the reason why I like the book of Daniel is because in the book of Daniel, and this has helped me through so much, especially when I've thought about, because I get tired a lot, because I do a lot. When I've thought about like, I'm not going to deal with this or whatever, but even back, like it's years ago, probably around when my grandmother passed, I really started reading the first books of the Bible, because I had to have something to motivate me, you know. And in the book of Daniel, it talks about, I believe it was the angel Gabriel told Daniel when Daniel prayed. And I don't know if I'm saying it verbatim, if, because I know people try to correct, they look for anything. They don't want to hear the message. They look for any mistake that you made. But the angel Gabriel told Daniel, when you prayed 21 days ago, I was dispatched to come and give you your answer, right? But I got caught up in spiritual darkness and high places fighting. And the angel Michael had to come and help Gabriel and free him up so that he can get Daniel his answer. Because Daniel had prayed. Remember, Daniel was in the lion's den. They threw him into the lion's den. And it's something about that scripture Also, that has always motivated me when I wanted to give up. You think about, a lot of people feel like God is not answering prayers for them. And I think about the people, so many people that have committed suicide because they felt like God did not hear their prayers, but they forget that we're in a spiritual battle. And if they had just waited it out one more day, God could have gotten their answer to them. Their angels that God has dispatched to protect them could have gotten free from that fight, because just like as much as we fight to try to get answers and do good and do right, there are there are dark entities that fight just as hard for us not to do that, to keep good from happening within the world. That's why you see so much darkness, because ain't nobody praying like they used to. And so they just allowing the enemy to use them. And then they got people in their ear telling them that you should do it. It ain't no right in the world no more. But I think about that every time, when I'm in a storm or whatever, and I go, okay, I'm just gonna turn around and go back the other way where I started from. But a lot of times, if you keep walking, you will get your answer if you just make one more step. Because we have our angels and stuff caught up in spiritual warfare, really trying to help us constantly. And it always motivates me to never give up, because if I just waited out, just like Daniel did, he wasn't worried about those lions. He knew that God was going to give him his answers. He just kept looking to the hills because he knew that's where his help was going to come from. If you just keep going and don't give up, you're going to get your answer. But see, we have to pray our angels through. I feel like a lot of times when angels are trying to get us our messages from God, that's why we have to consistently pray, because that's what freed them up to get us what we need. Y'all, we can't give up. We got to go back and start teaching what's right to our children. So even when the devils try to pull them into something and try to motivate them to do wrong and say, this how you going to get your riches, they can turn their back and walk away from it and say, I can make money another way. Or they can mentally come together like what Dolph was trying to do and build empires and say, we're the talent. Because if they all came together, they asses can't kill everybody, the people in the background. They could take the industry by storm. Instead, you got Black people that are helping to take out other brothers and sisters for money. Number one, they let that jealousy kick in, and then they want to please these people in the background, and it has not registered in their mind. They're trying to keep the Black community stagnant. Everybody else has generational wealth in their community. Why are we killing out people that are talking about and promoting generational wealth in our community? And here's the thing. I know a lot of people try to say I'm hard on, CMG and Gotti and Black youngsters. I'm not that hard on them. I'm not. But the thing that upsets me is that when you hear people like Black youngster and them, and Gotti don't say a whole lot because he get everybody else to say it. Well, he shouldn't have said this, he shouldn't have said that. It has not registered with people like Black youngster that they are not God. That a person can say anything they want to say as long as they are not a threat to your person. And it saddens me that his big dog has not put that in his head. If he don't know it, his big dog should have done told him. See, that's where the big dogs start to get a lot of flack. You don't take out people that are feeding the hood, like Master P said. Okay? So that's why I always say there has to be some reconstruction and a renewal of the mind. Because like I said, you got a whole lot of Negroes now scrambling for crumbs on here. They've been put on here, but they're doing criminal things. And now a lot of these people that's got families and things that nature, some of these men that are on here, they were put on here. They couldn't keep it. They weren't keeping it 100 anyways because they was planted on here. But then they had to start doing criminal things. So now they even got to go away. Okay? For how long, I don't know. But I know at some point, because it's a pattern. Because you cannot stop people from saying and doing what they want to do. as long as they're not hurting you. And that is that demonic spirit in the Black community. I'm going to stop you by any means necessary. And the motherfucking fight ain't even none of yours. How you going to do that for somebody else? And you got a damn family. Or I want to get all the crumbs. No, I don't eat crumbs. I never have. So you can have the damn crumbs because I don't eat crumbs. So that's why I always say there has to be a renewal of the mind in our community, y'all. And we got to do what Dolph said, get to the money and motivate. Let's motivate. Motivate yourself. Motivate yourself into a mentally healthy condition, because a lot of people are mentally messed up. And then motivate other people. Okay? And let the other people start in within your household with your woman and your children, because a lot of these men are it kind of trickles down on these kids because they feel like their job is to mentally and emotionally abuse their women. So y'all, let's keep that spirit of Dolph and start motivating. Start with yourself and your household. Y'all have a good day.